Hey everyone, got a treat for both of us here, because guess what? This is my first collaboration video, and with a legitimate big company no less. Now, before we dive into this box, I just want to say that no money has changed hands. PCBWay hasn't paid me to say good things about them or anything like that. All they've done is supply me with a bunch of their products that I've selected for free. So, if I look at the stuff in this box and I'm not happy, you guys know I'll be brutally honest and I'm going to tell you. Now, all I've done is sliced open the box and covered my address with these pieces of cereal box right here. So I'll be seeing this for the first time, same as you. And we're going to be using the stuff in this box to make a fun little project, but I'll go into detail on that afterwards. I believe these right here are the printed circuit boards that they made for me. And yeah, they are. Now, before you tune out and stop watching the video and walk away muttering to yourself, I guess you gotta be a brain surgeon or something to create your own circuit boards. Listen, I barely know how to do this as well. And I didn't design these. PCBWay's actually got this really neat repository of user-submitted designs that you can pick from, and they'll make it for you, which is exactly what I did for these things. And I think these 5 boards only came up to $5 as well too, so can't go wrong with that. And also, the person that designed these, they actually put up a link to a YouTube video showing it working. I'll post that in the description if anyone wants to see. And also, looks like they cleaned up the PCBs pretty good. No sharp or rough edges or anything like that. Okay, next up should be a bunch of 3D prints. And again, I didn't design these. These ones are from Thingiverse. If you don't want to shell out for a 3D printer, but you need something printed, these guys got you covered. So, not sure how well you can see this, but this is basically a coaster with a Mario star in there, and it's textured as well. Let me see if I can... So yeah, like the eyes are raised, as is the outline, and these are sort of recessed. But yeah, this is a pretty clean print. Looks really neat. Next up is this thing here. Here we go. So yeah, these aren't the most complicated of the prints that I picked. Just kind of wanted to see how the quality came out. And yeah, like these are pretty nice. Don't see a lot of support marks or anything like that. But yeah, this is a pretty clean print. There we go. Some little Witcher medallion coasters. And yeah, we've got 5 of these. And yeah, they look pretty neat. A lot of details and stuff in there. And this should be the last one right here. So these right here are blank coasters. Basically this without any kind of character in the middle. And again, don't see any glaring issues with these. Oh. Not sure what this is, but they send this thing. Oops. Got some stickers in there, as well as another bigger sticker. And oh, this is pretty cool. You can use this to measure components. This is basically a ruler for components. So say if you got a capacitor or something and you're not sure what size it is, you can measure it against here and that'll tell you. But yeah, these are pretty neat. Just gonna make sure there's nothing else in here. Yeah, looks like we've got a giant sticker as well. And I'll be honest with you, I've seen 3D prints from some of my buddies, and these put them to shame. I mean, look at this thing. If you told me this thing was injection molded acrylic, I'd believe you. So, PCBWay, doing good so far. Now, what am I using this weird but cool collection of items for? We're gonna modify this thing, this weird cube thing. Currently, it does this, which is a little bit boring. So I'm going to see if I can make this light dance along to music, which is what this is supposed to help me to do. So here's the parts list I need to populate this board with. And here are the parts. Now, I have taken a bit of liberty with the LED. The original spec calls for just a solid color LED. This one, as you can see, is a slow change LED. Cycles through a whole bunch of different colors. And also, learned this from Big Clive. If you want to test an LED, just use one of these batteries and just pinch the terminals to each side of the battery. And regarding the microphone, I don't have a brand new one. I do, however, have this old mangled dollar store headset, which has got a microphone right there. So, a little bit of an experiment. I'll take that out, see if we can get that to work, and hopefully everything goes smooth. Let's see. Alright, let's extract this microphone, and let's see if there's an easy way to remove this without breaking it. There we go, one microphone. I'm actually going to keep it inside this little plastic housing for now. Gonna see if I can use this to kind of pipe the sound into it from a certain point. But yeah, worst case, if that doesn't work, we'll just take that out. Let's start popping components on the board. Get these transistors in first. Now the capacitors. Alright, that's these four in. Now for the resistors and the LEDs. Also, not sure if I mentioned this, but these parts are mine. These did not come from PCBWay. Alright, that's the resistors in. And let's cut off these legs here now. I'm only going to connect one LED for now, just in case these color changing ones don't work as well. Now, the entire time I've been soldering these in, I've had positive and negative markings where I need to, but the LEDs don't seem to have this at first glance, because LEDs are polarity specific. These symbols right here, this flat part right there, that's the negative, and this short leg of the LED is also negative, so that would go in like that. LEDs in, and I've left it sticking up intentionally. I'm going to try, well, when I have all of them in, I'm going to try kind of angling them out to kind of direct the light a little bit more. At least that's the plan. For the power leads, I'm just going to solder this thing to it. This is a holder for an 18650 battery. Looks like a giant AA battery, but it's a lithium ion rechargeable. And I believe it'll carry about 4.2 volts on average. This thing will work anywhere between 3 to 5 volts. So I'm going to go ahead, solder these contacts in. Okay, that's everything except for the microphone now. Just going to go check how to figure out which side's negative and positive. Not sure if it entirely matters, but best to be safe. Alright, this is plugged into the bench power supply. Let's see if this thing works. Right, so there might have been a reason this headphone was in the scrap pile. Either way, I have a replacement one. I'll pop that in. I had to cut short last night's filming because this phone started acting up, but I think it's okay now. So where we left off was, I believe this thing might have an issue. So if I connect that to the bench power supply, turn it on, we get like one flash. And yeah, little flashes every time I cycle the bench power supply. Also, sorry for any background noise. I've got work guys upstairs. Right, so it's the next day. This now works and it looks a little bit different. I'll explain what's happened and I'll spare you the pain of watching an hour of my own stupidity. Despite these LEDs being in parallel, turns out you need more than one of them connected for this thing to work. So my cautious approach of not wanting to solder and potentially desolder all 5 of them was a dumb idea. I also didn't need to remove the capacitors and transistors and check them with this component tester right here. Because, well, they were fine. Well, actually, I kind of did have to take off the capacitors because I had them swapped around, but that was neither here nor there in terms of this thing actually working. And also, I didn't need to break out the oscilloscope to check if the microphone was working or not. I literally just needed to connect all 5 LEDs. You'll also notice these are not color changing LEDs anymore. Turns out, well, this is my theory, that this circuit, even with a loud constant noise triggering the LEDs, I think it's cycling the power to the LEDs really quickly, and the color changing LEDs never get the chance to actually shift colors. Oh, and the scrap microphone did work, and I've got it attached to this little extension cable here. So with this little series of unfortunate events behind us, let's get back to what we were originally doing. We'll get this mounted up to the base of the cube here. We'll leave this original circuitry intact, maybe just take out this bulb so we get a flat surface. But because this thing's got a switch right here, we're going to piggyback off that same switch. No sense reinventing the wheel here. Plus, this will give us a way of turning it on and off without having to remove this battery. And yeah, in case anyone's wondering, I could have probably used this same battery holder in here. Maybe just use 3 of the batteries to get it to 4.5 volts. But I kind of wanted to use the 18650 instead for, well, no reason really. But I mean, this thing's a lot cooler than boring old AA batteries. Going to desolder the positive lead from the battery, put that to the switch, then go from the switch back to here. And this is just a simple push switch. Doesn't matter which one of these 2 contacts gets switch wire. So this is as good an opportunity as any to see if the switch is working. Let's hook this up to the bench power supply. So yeah, it works. Next up, gonna pop this piece of cardboard right here as a bit of insulation. I'm just gonna hot glue this down, not gonna do anything fancy. So the layout I'm going for is gonna be something like this, with the wires cable managed a little bit better. And then this will be passing through here and kind of connected to the back, like a little weird looking antenna. So gonna need to cut a little notch right there in the middle for this to connect to. And if I ever need to take this out, isopropyl alcohol will counteract hot glue like no one's business. Okay, that notch should be enough. Glue's dry enough. Let's get the battery in. And what we're gonna do for the microphone, I'm gonna slide down the wires down that little slot and hot glue the microphone to the outside for now. Got the hot glue on there, and that should do it. And that can go there. And this should hopefully close right now. There we go. Just gonna prop it up at an angle so you guys get the full effect. And we'll dim the lights, make it a little more romantic. And it does respond to volume as well. It goes a little bit more bright when the volume's loud. Okay, light's coming back. Watch your eyes, please. So I think I've successfully proved you don't need to be a rocket surgeon to do this kind of stuff. I mean, all you need is a hot glue gun and some cardboard pretty much. Now, the original plan was to trim these things as kind of decorations for this. Like this one here, I might have trimmed off the star, put that on top or on the side or something. But I'll be honest, it seems like a crying shame to do that to this. And I didn't want to shrink the print down because I wanted to show that, well, you don't need to be a genius to use the service, which I most certainly am not. These ones, I was kind of thinking of cutting out the eyes, and they would be like that, and then you get like the kind of glowy effect through the eyes. So let me try doing that with the box cutter, see if that works. Change of plans, got some tiny drill bits here. Let's try this out. Just gonna hot glue it to the middle there. Okay, lights are going off again. Gonna turn on one light and let's see how this looks. And I'd call this one a, well, somewhat complete project for now. I'd say it's a cool little gimmick. However, I think I've got some plans for this thing right here. So, I've got this weird looking robot thing here. I think it's like a G.I. Joe or something. And it does this. So, USB power supply to the back. And essentially there's just a color changing LED in there, and it's kind of light pipe into this, which is pretty cool. So what I'm hoping I can do, this is for a future project as well too. You can kind of see an LED strip right there at the bottom. I'm gonna see if I can make my own one of these. Doesn't have to be fancy, could be a block of wood or anything like that as well, and I'll see if I can do something like this with that. But yeah, let me ponder a bit on that, and this will probably be like a future video or something. So what this comes down to is, am I happy with PCBWay? Sure, I didn't pay for any of this stuff, but if I had, wouldn't have had any complaints whatsoever. Let me take this a step back as well. Most people that I see doing stuff for PCBWay, it's always really complicated stuff, like robotics, drones, what have you. Just wanted to show you that a layman could feasibly use their products too. And like I said, it's not just PCBs that they make. You can get really cool 3D prints as well. In any case, thanks PCBWay. Oh, and in case you guys are wondering what it stands for, I believe it was Pretty Cube Box. Thanks for watching.